wicked. His days are determined. Come on.
The number of his months are with thee.
The number of his months is kept secret with the Most High. Only the Most High knows the number of this man's months, his days, his minutes, his seconds. Only the Heavenly Father knows the exact day and hour in which this same man, this devil, will be overthrown. Come on.
Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
The Most High has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So again, going back to Revelation chapter 9, there's an exact day, year, month, and hour in which this man's end will come. And he cannot overstep that bound. Right? The second that second comes in, the second that minute, that hour comes in, there's no witchcraft this man can perform that can overstep that boundary. So it's set. It is set, man. So it says, let me read this last verse here, of Wisdom of Solomon 5:14. For the hope of the ungodly is like dust that is blown away with the wind. and that's deep, because the scriptures talk about there being a destroying wind, right? The hope of the ungodly is like dust that's blown away with the wind. So when that nuclear desolation, that nuclear storm, man, hits America and blows away everything, the abysm of destruction, that's the hope of the so-called white man. It's gonna go down to the shits, man. You're blown away like dust. You ever seen dust get blown away? You might see it,
yeah,
and then you don't see it no more. It's just gone, like it's just evaporating.
You know them dandelions, when you're a child, you blow the dandelion and it like disperses.
Right. There's that destroying wind. That's an Job? That's in Jeremiah. This is on the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will rise up against Babylon. Hold on. Keep it past that. So it says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And I will send unto Babylon fanners, that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. Right? And that reminds me of Matthew chapter, I believe it's chapter 2 or 3, where it says about the prophecy of Yahweh Shah would be that his fan shall be in his hand, and he shall thoroughly purge his floor, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to get it anyway. For in the day of trouble, they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine. And spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. So bending that bow, what do you use a bow for? To shoot the arrow. And the arrows represent the nuclear missiles, man.
So it's the silo.
And the bow is the silos. Okay? From where the missiles are shot forth. And when the missiles hit ground zero, what will come forth? That destroying wind.
That's right.
Right? That will desolate buildings, infrastructures, land, peoples, right? Animals, trees. That's that destroying wind spoken of in our Revelations, the 7th chapter, which the Heavenly Father is holding back. He's holding back that judgment. Okay? And that judgment is in store specifically for the so-called white man himself. As it said, he shall be chased away, Job 20, in the middle of verse 8. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Right? A bad dream. It says Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 14. Don't. For the hope of the ungodly is like dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm, like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest and passeth away, as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day.
Okay, the next time I go out,
Never noticed them until that day.
What's that? It's in 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal. That's the main point. The things that are seen are temporal. Which is what? The so-called white man's power. Okay? But as the scripture, as the prophecy says, that he shall be chased away like a dream of the night. Okay? So it says Sirach chapter 34 verse 1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools. Yeah, if you still believing in the American dream. I don't think anyone believes in the American dream. I don't think anyone believes in that. You know? I don't think anyone believes in that shit. Because it's a dream. Dreams lift up fools. Look at the decline. And just look at the estate of the United States. It's over. It's over with. If you're looking to live there happily ever after, you're a fool that's been lifted up, man. Alright? With vain hope. Vain faith. Hold on. Verse 2. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at the shadow and followeth after the wind. You hear that? Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow. Can you catch a shadow in your hand? That's a vain attempt. And if you follow after the wind, can you know where the wind going? Vanity. Right? So that's it. This man shall be chased away like that very same dream. It's vain and it's false. Okay? For you to follow after this man's power structure.
I was just going to say, America's decline has come fast as well. Because if you look at from the 1970s, with each progressive decade, America's waxed worse and worse. So what's that, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, 2020? It's like 50, 60 years, America's looking hella bad out here, man. Compared to when, if you look at these images from the early 1900s, when Israel had their shit on lockdown, America's declined hella fast, man.
Yeah. It's over, man.
It is over.
It's over. What we're looking for is anarchy and all hell to break loose pretty much. Okay? Because there's a lot of things happening in this Western Hemisphere that the elites is orchestrating. They're orchestrating pretty much like a famine. Okay, and that's how you know it's out. When you're seeing like the dietary or the food of the people is on the decline. When you're genetically modifying bacon, it's awful, man. When you're genetically modifying bacon, man. Right? What they say is plant-based meat. It's over. It's finished, man. You can't even. You're struggling to find real, authentic meat. It's over. Shalom. It's over. If you're still trying to invest in a shadow that passeth away, you're the fools. You're an Israelite, my bro. You go and read about the Bible, that's the history of your people. What country are you from?
Huh?
What country are you from?
Ghana heritage.
Ghana, yeah, the Ghanaians, the Ashanti, the Khan, they're Israelites, man. They're Israelites. And the word Ghana, this means war chief. There was actually a title given to the war chief where it got given to the people in total, war chief. Ghana, but they're Israelites. You had the ancient Ghanaian Empire, the people of Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, where actually it's like one people, made up of like 3 tribes: the Hawadab, Yom Yom, and Loya, which is ancient Hebrew. Yeah, of course.
So when did you get enlightened about Israel?
Me, that was like, when I was like 20, like 30. So, but this is like real. This is who we are.
Yeah.
We're not black or African.
Yeah.
We're not even Ghanaian or Nigerian. None of that.
Yeah,
These are all like.
down, but colonies and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Dog on the iron.
So like when I say you're an Israelite, that means you descend from a man called Israel or Jacob. Like so we're the Israelites. Like the so-called white people, they're the Edomites. The Chinese are the Moabites. So you're finding out where you descend from, where we come from, where we actually come from, you know what I mean? The reality, the truth of it, who are we really? Because it's like we're at the bottom, right? But like we got all this talent, we have all this skill. Why are we at the bottom? Like, no, why can't we get it together? Why can't we just get it together and come together? What's up with it? They say it's a curse. Our Father has cursed us because we disobeyed Him. For the time being, temporarily, I'm not saying that. Temporarily, tongue twister. It's a temporary thing for our punishment. And you punish your son because he disobeyed. Very simple. For the time being. Right now, the Most has put our enemies over us. Right? But that's why you see all of this happening. All this happening, man. Right? But what are we saying? We got something.
When you're ready, yeah.
Well, bring up.
Deuteronomy 7:6,
Yeah,
right?
bring up.
Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy God. Yahweh thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
You should tell your children that. You're special.
Yeah, bro. That's, you know, light gonna work my fuck. That's hit the nail. I got too good. So I'm bang on all this today, you know what I mean? I'm trying to understand. I know that. So it's so funny. I was up in Station Park. One brother said, look, Israelites. Like, he just confused me. I was like, right. Yeah. And then
I know those guys.
Okay.
You see that kind of light skinned guy with the long hair?
Kinda, yeah, big tongue. Yeah, big tongue. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember his name for life. But anyway, so I'm walking. I thinking, right, this can't be a reason. So let me come and see what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good. Trust me. I'm intrigued. So I'm not gonna lie. I don't know too much about it, so I ain't gonna start talking like, you know, I believe all, but I'm willing to I'm open-minded.
That's the most beautiful to be open-minded.
Yeah, trust me. I can do that. Nah, man, respect, man. So, so we do. Where's the website, man?
We don't have that leaflets or anything like that.
You want to 7:6 or
Yeah, give me Deuteronomy 28.
Deuteronomy chapter 28. Okay. Right, Deuteronomy 28, starting at verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
So, the stranger or the other nations that were actually subject to us at one point, they're going to get up above us. And we're going to be brought down. Right? Coming up.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
Check the first point, it said that he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. Meaning our enemies, they would have the gain over everything. They'd have the lockdown and everything. The resources, the land, they'll have the fatness of the earth, the goodness of the land. They'll be lending to us. They'll be selling us wood. They'll be selling things that we should have naturally. They're selling it to us. Wood, houses, water, food. They're lending to us, but we don't lend nothing to the so-called white man. We don't lend nothing to them. They're the ones lending to us, showing you that they have the sovereignty. And it says that they shall be the head and we're going to be the tail. You know, we're following after their education. We're following after them. The head is like the beginning of the body, and the tail is like when a child is born, the head come out first, and then the feet come out last. So they be first, and we'd be following after them. And that's what's happening. That's part of the curses, right? Coming up.
How long is it going to be again?
Every Thursday. Well, do it every Thursday. Every Thursday, I'm ready. Well, if you have internet in the phone.
Sorry. You go mentally.
Go to YouTube.
This video is just for you, lot, yeah? Yeah. You realize that. So I'm not a big fan of doing videos. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like, that should be back on.
So that's it. That's my one. Anything with GMS, like GMS Jamaica, GMS Nigeria, GMS, which stands for Great Millstone.
Yeah.
That's me. That's just me. It's a little humble things. Anything with type in GMS Israelites or anything like that, you know. Great Millstone Israelites, that's us.
Yeah. All right then. Yes, brother. Bless up, man. Bless up, yeah?
Shalom. Take it.
All right, let's take it.
Yeah. You know? Just feeding a brother there. Right? What was I reading there? There we go. This is right. And this man's leadership is temporal. Like a dream that's chased away, like a vision of the night. As I was reading before. You know? And that the things that are seen is temporal. And the triumphing of the wicked is what? It's short, man. It's short-lived. Okay? So this is Jeremiah 51 verse 4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. What are they going to be thrust through by?
The nukes.
The nukes, man. But what's that scripture about they shall be thrust through? There's a scripture on that, they shall be thrust through, man.
the iron bow shall strike them.
Yeah, something like that. So strike them through or something.
See how God works.
There's busting through in the streets or something like that.
Job 20 and 24. I don't know if that's the one you want. It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon and the bow of steel shall strike him free.
Or is it Isaiah 13, 15?
Yeah,
Let me try read it.
yeah, read that.
Isaiah 13 verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through,
Right.
and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Read that again.
The book of Isaiah 13, 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through,
Right.
and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Right, that's twofold. That's talking about the missiles are thrusting the people there through on the soils of America, and that's also the sword. The scripture said they shall fall by the sword. The nuclear missile is also described as the sword, man. Okay? But this very same verse can also be used in terms of what the time of Jacob's trouble. When the military troops come through and start attacking the inhabitants of America, man. Okay? So come on, read on.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished, man. During the time of Jacob's trouble, in the time of this great tribulation, you're gonna have what? You're gonna have the military troops invading people's houses, man. And it makes sense because at this moment in time, what they do, they send the text messages to people's phones saying, you have our records show that you haven't taken the crack scene shot. Eventually it's going to get to a point where they're going to arrest people that haven't taken it. They're going to start knocking on people's doors, invading people's houses, and arresting people that have not consented, man.
They were doing that in Australia back in the lockdown.
Yeah. Exactly. See? So read that part again. It says that they should spoil their houses and ravish their wives. So that's exactly what's going to happen. And a lot of these troops that's going to do that are not even going to be troops from the United States. Most likely it's going to be foreign troops. Troops from Russia and China. Okay, that will be deployed on American soil to tackle the American people. Okay, that's why they're going to be so damn relentless and ruthless against the American people, to ravish their wives and spoil their houses. Coming up.
Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
Stop, read that part again.
Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them.
Stir up the Medes. The Medes is talking about the Russians. I will stir up the Medes against who? The Babylonians, man. Okay, the people of America, I will stir up the Medes against them. So showing you that it's going to be America versus Russia. Two superpowers. We're also going to have China, which is also another superpower, and other global powers that are also going to be joined up backing Russia against America. Coming up.
Right, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
What does that mean? They shall not regard silver or gold. Meaning you can't bribe Russia. You can't bribe Russia out of this. This is prophecy. Okay? You can't sit down with Putin because, you don't know if Putin's going to be that man that will ultimately, instigate that nuclear missile destruction. Or it might be another presidential leader out of Russia. But no one's going to be able to sit down the president of Russia and negotiate. There's going to be a final decision, and it's going to result in the nuclear desolation of America coming up.
Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces,
Their bows shall dash the young men to pieces. Come on.
and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb.
They shall have no pity upon the fruit of the womb. They're going to have no pity upon the fruit. So not even children are going to be spared. The fruit of the womb is talking about the children. Okay? I remember I seen this one TikTok video, this one American guy who said, yes, listen Peter, we know your back's into a corner, but spare us the American people. Because at the end of the day, it's not the people, it's not their fault. It's Putin. It's Biden, man. It's slimy Joe Biden, man. It's him and his administration. They're the ones that's putting the American people in trouble. So the American people are like, listen, man, please spare us, man. It's not us, it's this motherfucker, man. Right? But at the end of the day, prophecy says that Putin ain't gonna respect no fuck you, man. He said, man, fuck all of you, man. So Putin's gonna be so pissed off, he can say, well, fuck you and your children, man.
Yeah.
Fuck your gold, fuck your silver. Die. Right? So it's coming up.
Their eye shall not spare children.
Right.
And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of Chaldeans, excellency, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah. So America's gonna be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? I mean, the fire came down from the firmament and destroyed all the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah.
5 cities.
Right, the 5 cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. You see what I'm saying? So that's the people, the inhabitants of America being thrust through. All right, with that bow of steel, will strike them through and destroy them. So that's deep. Okay. If I hold that back there, because we're going into some deep things about about spoiling their houses and ravishing their wives.
Not sparing the
Yeah, not sparing, yeah, all that. That's going into that time with Jacob's trouble, you know. This is Jeremiah 51, verse 4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, nor Yahweh of hosts. Though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Right. So ultimately, the Israelites hasn't been forsaken, man. Even though the Heavenly Father's condemned America, you still have the elect within the perimeters of the Americas, man, that have been sanctioned for salvation and deliverance. You understand? And it says Israel have not been forsaken. Just like during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, I believe it was Abraham prayed for the Sodomites. Why? Because Lot was there. Okay? And then what did Abraham say? It said, if 50 righteous were left, would you not
destroyed it. Would you not spare the city for the 50 wives?
exactly? Did you not spare that whole city for the sake of the 50 souls that was therein? And then the Heavenly Father said, yeah, I would. Okay? So it's showing you that, this